How emotional abuse and neglect differ is slight yet noticeable in definition. So, Norman best defines emotional abuse as the failure to provide a supportive environment by, for example, verbally threatening the child. Norman also defines neglect as the failure to provide for all aspects of the child's well being. The neglect is more so failure to provide all aspects for the child's well being, whereas emotional abuse is more focused on failure to provide a supporting environment and also adding negative um, words and different stimuluses like verbally threatening.
But I'm only human, and I bleed when I fall down. I'm only human.
So some reasons why child abuse may be underreported is that, number one, there is an unclear definition. One of the studies measured actual child emotional abuse by different levels. So the first level was little, the second was around moderate, and then the last level was high. So that also leaves a bit of lack of clarity for other studies and how they are defining emotional abuse, whether or not they are also breaking it up by level or if they have different criteria. And as I mentioned before, emotional abuse and neglect often get mixed up with each other, or they are combined in the research because a lot of the research will focus on the different types of abuse, sexual, physical, and then the emotional, and some studies will combine the emotional with the neglect. So there is a little bit of lack of differentiation between those two, which would affect what we see specifically for emotional abuse and its research. A second likely reason why child abuse is underreported is that according to another one of my studies, emotional abuse is not usually pinpointed to a specific incident, whereas sexual abuse and physical abuse, it can be an ongoing ordeal, but you can pinpoint different incidents within that ongoing ordeal, whereas emotional abuse does not tend to be like a pinpointed incident. It's more a span or pattern of maltreatment is what I saw in the research. Another reason why people would hesitate to report child emotional abuse is because people are afraid of the stereotype and the stigma that comes with reporting being abused. Now, I didn't really see factual statistics for this part, but just speaking from like my thoughts, not my personal experience, but just kind of how I think people can feel, is that I think people can feel a lot of shame with reporting abuse. They may feel guilty for being a victim, and they may perceive themselves and talk down to themselves, saying they're weak and that they should have known better. Like, why did this happen? And just go through the spiral of blaming themselves instead of, knowing, they were wronged. They weren't wrong for being wronged, but they were taken advantage of, and that's not their fault. And who did that to them is wrong and isn't in the right about it. So that's just something I would add as a human caveat.